Welcome back to Footballology. So today was the first day of the NFL Scouting Combine. I actually enjoy watching the Combine and I enjoy making these videos. It's not really for the 40-yard dash for me at any given day or any position. It's just really about the on-the-field drills and watching how the on-the-field drills actually translate to football and taking that into account as far as like where guys should go, if they're going to be good at the next level and things like that. So some things I was unsure about going into this draft this year was offensive line depth in the NFL draft. And looking after today, you look at some of the linemen, they performed really well. There was a couple of guys that I was unsure about if they were really good or not. I think one guy that, look at my laptop real quick, one guy that they were talking about was Orlando Brown from Oklahoma. A lot of people were thinking that he was the number one tackle, he was going to be the guy and all this good stuff. Personally, I didn't like anything he done. Not even talking about like combine, like 40-yard dash or bench or anything like that. His bench was really weak too. He only put up 14 reps. But his on-the-field drills did not look fluent to me. I understand he had a lot of girth and he has a lot of size to him. And I think one thing that Mike Mayock said during the broadcast was King Dunlap, and that made sense. But as far as a first-round pick, I don't see Orlando Brown being one. But I think someone's still going to take a chance on him. Like they kept saying that throughout the broadcast, that someone's going to take a chance on him just because of his tape. And even when I watched some of his film and watched some of his tape, I still wasn't impressed with him as far as a lot of other guys. And so that was one guy that I was unsure about. And pretty much I don't think that he's going to be that good. But who knows? We'll see. There was another guy, I think, Will Hernandez. They kept talking about him, kept bringing his name up. But once again, his on-the-field drills were clean, amazing. Showed really good, in my opinion, he showed a lot of good hip movement, especially at the guard position. His feet were pretty decent. Obviously, he did really well on the bench. And I think overall, he just really helped himself as far as a first-round pick. I think I could see Will Hernandez going in the first round at the guard position and helping some teams that just bolster up the interior of their offensive line. And I think he'd be really good there. And then another guy, which he's going to go in the first round, is I think Quentin Nelson. Quentin Nelson going in the first round. Now my beef with that, honestly, is he's going to go in the first round as a guard. And they kept saying guard, but with his size and his power, I would personally like to see him kick out the tackle. Mike Mayock said something during the broadcast about the Giants taking him at number 2. And I feel like if the Giants were to take him at number 2, it wouldn't be for the guard position. It'd be at the tackle position. And I feel like he still can have success. He showed that he had some good movement to him that I feel like with some decent coaching, he could still have an ability to be really good at the tackle position. So that would be a guy I'm personally looking at as far as where he goes and what position he plays at the next level. Let's see if some other guys I was looking at. That's really about it. Braden Smith from Auburn. He was a guy that I think I can see him playing right tackle. I thought he'd be pretty good there. And then Connor Williams, the Texas tackle, he looked really good. Now, the question with him is I'm not sure if I would play him at left or right tackle, but I feel like he could still play the tackle position. And then I think overall, what I kept noticing, they kept trying to kick a lot of guys into guard. A lot of guys that were playing tackle into guard. And there's some guys that you can get away with that. And I think the reason why that a lot of teams or a lot of people are saying that now is because, itching like crazy. It's because we've seen at the next level that it had great success. You know, Zach Martin was a guy that played tackle in college, moved to guard, great success. Brandon Scherf played tackle, moved to guard, great success. And so I think a lot of people are thinking you can get away with that now. In some cases you can, especially from, arm length and height and things like that, just your prototypical tackle. A lot of players don't have that coming out of college. If they play tackle in college, you kick them in a guard, they still have that pass protecting in them that they learn. And then the guard position, I'm not saying the guard position is any easier than the tackle position, especially with guys like Aaron Donald and things like that. But I think that when you kick a guy into guard, it takes a little bit less stress off of him. Allows him to play a little bit more rough and tough at the guard position or center position and just be a little bit more powerhouse like you want him to be. And then he can still pass protect because he's done it for most of his college career. But that's what I noticed from the offensive linemen. Like I said, there was a couple of guys that I was personally looking at. I don't like Orlando Brown in the first round. I really hope I really hope he falls. And not say I hope he falls because I don't want to risk that on anybody. But I hope a team doesn't reach in the top 10, at least not in the top 20 for him. Let him, drop down. Don't overpay for him. Get him, tutor him, get him right, and maybe he can turn into something good. But just like I said, not even from a 40 standpoint or anything. his bench was really, like I said, I don't watch the bench, but I pay attention to it. But when it comes down to it, it's kind of depressing. Like, he put up 14 reps, and it's like, as a tackle, man, I need you to be a little bit more stronger on the edge out there. I mean, you got guys like, Justin Houston, Aaron Donald, DeMarcus Lawrence, Cameron Wake, and Ndamukong Suh. Like, we got guys that can hit you with some bull rushes and put you on your butt and then have you done for the game. It's like, you can't come with that weak stuff like that. And so that's just stuff I think about personally. And those are guys that, he possibly could be matching up against, any given Sunday. So that was pretty much all for the linemen. And then we had the running backs today. I have never been really, let me take that back. There's been running backs that come out, you get hyped, you get excited for them. And, that is. David Johnson was a guy, like, you can go back and look at my old videos. And David Johnson was always been a guy that I was high on when he was coming out. He went the third round. I think he's still one of the better backs in the NFL. And I was excited for him. Todd Gurley was a good back. I was excited, Todd Gurley's a good back. Melvin Gordon's a good back. I was excited for him. There was a couple of guys that, like, yeah, this guy's going to be good. He's worth a first-round pick. But Saquon Barkley, man, dude completely wrecked the combine. Completely wrecked it. And I've never felt this way about a player as far as just based off combine performance. And even if we took the combine and just stood out the window and say, would you draft this guy just based off the film I show you? Teams are still taking him in the top 3, top 5. And so what he's done today and just over the last couple of days as far as interviews and as far as his workouts and everything else, he's completely destroyed it. He left no doubt in your mind that he should go number 1 overall if you're Cleveland, or if you're trying to trade back Cleveland. And, they talked about, I seen some Cleveland was talking about trading that first overall pick. If I'm Tampa Bay, why not come up and get Saquon? I'll give you my 1 and a 3, which Tampa Bay, I think, is picking like 6 overall, something like that. They're picking fairly decently high. And if you're Tampa Bay, give me, your 1 and your 3, come up and Tampa Bay go get Saquon. And that'd be great for them. But I feel like he's a guy that he shouldn't make it out of the top 3 realistically. And I'd be surprised if he does. I like, if he gets picked at number 4 by Cleveland there, Cleveland better thank God and just praise the Lord, because that would just be mind-blowing if he gets that far. But he was just one of those guys that, I personally, since I've been a big fan of the NFL and watched, that I feel like that, yeah, he goes number 1. He should go number 1, 100%, 1,000%. I don't care what your team needs are, kind of type stuff. Like, if you needed a quarterback and Saquon was sitting there, and any of these quarterbacks that are in this draft class are sitting there, obviously because you're number 1, but if they're sitting there and it's like, you're still taking Saquon. I don't care about your quarterback needs. Saquon Barkley, I feel like, is that big of a difference maker. And so he did what he was supposed to, came out and wrecked stuff. There was a couple guys that I personally like. Rashard Penny actually had a good day. I thought he really helped himself. So at least late first round, early second, somewhere in the mid-second round. I think he did a lot of work today to help himself and bolster his record, or bolster his names. Who's another guy? Nick Chubb, I think, is still a second-round pick. He just came out and just proved to you he can be a good power back. I think he's a guy, I'm not comparing him to Leonard Fournette, but I feel like he's a guy that you can play like a Leonard Fournette. Probably won't be your future back like a Fournette, but he's a guy that, that can take those kind of touches, goal line touches. He can do what Leonard Fournette did for the Jaguars this year. I think he can do that for some other team. You give him another back there, a change of pace kind of guy, but like a Sony Michel. And I think you'd be fine. I think Nick Chubb is definitely a second-round pick that you can be completely comfortable taking and knowing that you're going to get a quality running back. Sony Michel is another guy that I think he can be a difference-making running back with some good coaching and good training and just really with the right team, like Alvin Kamara was with the Saints, and he can tear it up. They kept comparing him to Kamara, and I like the comparisons. I'm not going to lie. That was a good comparison. And I think with the right team, he can still do that. That was Kalen Baldrich. I can't even say his name now. From Arizona State. He was a guy that I personally, out of the Senior Bowl, was excited to watch. He did decent. He did decent today. I can't talk. Been up since like 3 o'clock this morning. It's crazy. But with all that being said, I think those are just some. I think that was it. I think those are running backs that you're going to take in the first 2 rounds. I think personally, Saquon should be the only first-round running back. I wasn't 100% impressed with any of the running backs. I think that you're going to get a lot of difference-making kind of guys. I don't think you're going to get any like hardcore playmakers. I think you get guys that can come in and make an impact on your team, but not like Saquon can, and not like a Todd Gurley or a Kamara. Like, I know Sony Michel had that comparisons, but you take him in the second round. Kamara went in the third. You take Sony Michel in the second round. That's pretty much what that's going to be. And I think when it comes down to it, I think Saquon's going to be the only running back goes in the first round unanimously. And I think if any other team takes another first round running back, you must really be in love with this guy, and you feel like that your next pick, he's not going to be there for you. I think the need of running back for a lot of teams and the depth. I'm not going to say the depth of the running back class. I think I don't know. Like, it's just hard for me to explain, I guess. It's like these running backs aren't real running backs, in my opinion, or at least not today's running backs. Like, you think like Le'Veon Bell, he can run between the tackles, you can run outside, and he can still catch the ball extremely well. Saquon gives you all of that. Now, some of these guys, like, let's say, for instance, Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb can run between the tackles. He can bounce it outside if you want. He can decently catch the ball. But I'm not sure if he can be that guy. Like, I don't know if he can be a 20 to 25 touch kind of guy. And I don't know if he has it. He just doesn't, his film doesn't jump out to you like a Saquon Barkley does. Or like who else was coming out? Zeke Elliott, when Zeke Elliott was coming out, like his does. I just feel like Saquon's the number one running back, hands down. And then I think it's just a big drop off. I think it's like a huge window, a huge gap between him and the next running back. And I think that's just going to show. I think what we're going to end up having is in the draft, we're just going to have a really strong run on running backs. I think no running backs are going to go in the first round. You're going to see a lot of linebackers, D linemen, quarterbacks for sure, a handful of linemen, offensive linemen. And then the second round is going to roll around, and then you're just going to start seeing, like, I wouldn't be surprised if within the first 15 picks of the second round, we see at least 8 to 9 running backs go. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens, because I just don't feel like any of these guys are first round material. With the 4 years and the 5th year option, you got to think about a guy that you're going to hope to keep for 5 years, and then willing to give him that big contract at the end of it. So, with all that being said, that's really all I have today. We got quarterbacks, receivers, and tight ends tomorrow. I'm excited to see that personally, because every year they come out with quarterbacks and they're like, this quarterback, this quarterback, this quarterback, amazing, like hands down amazing, and you can't do anything about it. But I want to see some of these quarterbacks, and I just want to see what they look like as far as, like I said, on the field drills. I want to see some receivers. I don't know too much about the receiving class. I usually try to cut myself off 100% from football for about a month, and I like to watch the combine, and I like to go back and, I listen to everybody else, but I like to go back and watch everybody and like to build up my own opinion as far as what I think about this guy and what I don't like about him. And so I don't know anything about the receiver class. I've watched some of the quarterbacks. I'm a huge fan of Baker Mayfield, I'm not going to lie, but I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens tomorrow. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and become a footballologist today. And stay safe, football fans.